same. Good luck with your life. You know I wish you well. We're both gonna be fine. This has to be farewell.
Why is there no music? All right, well, I've absolutely cooked everything tonight, so I'm just going to switch to the live scene. My apologies, guys. Welcome to Race Spec. It's round 4, the first of our sprints tonight as we head to the marvellous streets of Miami. I'd like to welcome on in my co-commentator tonight as well, alongside me tonight, GuardianRGR. Welcome on in, mate.
Yes, pleasure to be here again, P. I'm looking really forward to this. As you said, first sprint. So it's going to be an interesting one, 10 laps, and I can't wait. I can't wait for them to get out there.
Absolutely, mate. Yes, me too. Very much looking forward to see the action tonight. We have a short qualifying session followed by a 10-lap sprint and then 29 laps in the main race. Yes, going to be awesome. Should be plenty of action as always in these league races. We saw some pretty chaotic stuff last week in Monza, and I'm excited to see the continuation of that for a number of drivers who are looking to perform well. But first of all, yes, I must apologise. I'm rather unprepared tonight, so we're sort of not doing the normal sort of intro format, and that's my fault, so I apologise for that. But yes, hopefully we can get to the action very, very soon and crack on and have a fantastic night with you all. Welcome on into the chat to Laxian. Love to see you, mate. Trepid Films, also very good to see you. And Bagel for Life. Love me some bagels. And all supporting Haas, which is wicked. So big support for Haas. And we are 15 seconds away. Guardian, do you have anyone to keep your eye on tonight? Is there a driver you might be fancying to perform well tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Data, Higgs, and Aussie with a Y can do here tonight. This is a very fun track. One of my favorites of the new additions of tracks in the last couple of years, and they actually race around one of the US's major Super Bowl stadiums, just as a fun fact.
There it is on screen now. Perfect timing because the Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphins. But hopefully no one will be dolphin diving down into turn 1 today and causing mayhem like we saw last week. But welcome on in, Chris Wilson. Great to see you, mate. I'm doing fantastic. I'm super rushed into the stream tonight. I don't dare say the reason why on stream. It's nothing, nothing too bad, you know what I mean? I just got a brand new racing sim and I've been trying to set it up and test it out. Anyway, it's wet in the streets of Miami. It's pouring rain here as we go to qualifying. Guardia, this weather really going to shake things up tonight. Let's go!
Oh, absolutely, mate. And, I think we might actually see some dolphin diving now with cars sliding off the track in T1. It's a very short run.
I think so. Well, get your floaties, get your life jackets. There's dolphins, there's sharks, perhaps even a few little sea urchins out on the track today in Miami. This is going to be terrific as we see Cards, the first driver, out onto the track tonight. The number 13 Red Bull has strapped on a set of the green Pirelli intermediate tyres, and he's going to blast off in Miami. Hello?
Yes, and it looks like Blunty's also releasing from the pits now. Sorry, I was just getting my bearings there.
No, we're rather unprepared and rushed tonight. Let me get my screen on for you in the Discord as well. Totally my fault, guys, for the terrible intro. That's I might be getting a message from Matt later on going, pick up your game, Mr. Commentator. We can't be having that. But here we go. Cards on the lap, on his out lap, and you said also Clunky Boys come out. We see Old Mate on the track. Looks like Lightning's out there as well. Mercedes-Benz, that would be Heggs on his out lap as well. So a number of cars out in the treacherous conditions, it has to be said. I wonder what the weather will be like in the latter parts of this session and moving into the sprint and race.
Well, see, that's the key. You really got to question, especially if we get a dry sprint and a wet race or vice versa. What do you set up for, and how do you make those compromises? Do you try and quali well and go with a wet setup and just try and mitigate the damage in the races, or do you go with the dry setup and suffer a little bit in quali today? And that extra sprint race that we have today definitely going to play a factor into the setups, I think.
I think it's going to be a real pickle for quite a number of the drivers as Cards now starts his first flying lap. We do have intel from our very own Ted Kravitz under the alias of Talaxian tonight that it's just raining for quali. The sprint and the race are going to be bone dry.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to make things interesting, especially when it comes to quali strategy, because like I said, do you try and get further up the field and avoid the chaos, or do you just deal with it? And it looks like Lightning's been disqualified from the session.
Oh, where's he? Where is this on the track, Guard? It is severe damage to not only the halo, but obviously the front wing of this car. And Lightning has had a colossal accident then. Just trying to see where he's located on the track. This is potentially in the sort of Mickey Mouse Stadium section, if you will. But yes, that's quite a strange accident there for Lightning.
Yeah,
and Heggs is out as well. So multiple cars really struggling in the wet and wild conditions in Miami. You expect it to be wet and wild in the wild west of Texas, perhaps, but today it's wet and wild in Miami.
Yes, well, Miami being located in Central Florida, they are quite prone to these flash rainstorms. So, it's definitely going to make things interesting, and maybe the other drivers are going to cool it down a little bit and just try and get their bank laps through and gauge actually how much grip is out there.
Absolutely, yeah. It should be fascinating to see. I believe this is the first time all season we've seen the wet conditions, so we're going to see some drivers, I think, with pure talent come to the top tonight. You've got to be on ball to master these conditions.
Well, as they say, the rain is the great equalizer.
Indeed.
And just on board with Clunky right now, about to finish his first lap. And what will he set as the benchmark here? I don't think nobody else has gone through yet.
1:36.5 there for Clunky Boy, setting the first time of the evening. And we see Talaxian here. Just watching him come through the turn 16, barreling down towards turn 17 here. The DRS can open right about now.
Well,
if it was dry. If it was dry, yes, of course, yes. DRS disabled in the rain. Here he comes around turn 17 through the tricky complex of turns 18, 19. Got to really keep the rear end in check through here as it can snap out, and in the intermediate conditions that's going to be ever so hard. But he crosses the line with a 37.9, currently sits P8.
Yes, and Data said, I'll take your benchmark and you can take this bar and I'll put it higher.
And here's the Ferrari on board with a striking red and yellow livery. This is JS44. Looking to right his wrongs of the last Grand Prix and improve with a solid performance today. Multiple chances today with a sprint and race for all of the drivers involved here. A full grid of 19 tonight. And here goes JS44 through turn 19. Across the line, it's a 38.9 and P10 for him.
Yes, well, these conditions are definitely very tricky. As I'm just on board with Alex right now. It looks like he's about halfway through his lap.
Oh, there's a couple of cars stopped on the track here. JS has gone around. Merlin has gone around. They are in the turn 16 complex. And going down to Alex, he's just come through that part of the track, below the highway.
Yeah, it's very, very lucky to not have to slow down for that as well. He had perfect timing there, really.
Heavy on the brakes now into the turn 16. And a little bit of a lock up there on the left front, but he pulls the car in, hits the apex, squirts the power down, and through the final corner, he's going to cross the line. Pretty competitive there. A 36-0 goes to P3.
Yes, it's been a very good time. And Aussie with the Y is the second driver into the 35s with 35.8 and a very respectable time.
So yes, Aussie in the Ferrari there. Bright green helmet, bright yellow on the car. He goes up to P2. Data at the moment in a different class. He is lapping 35.1s. Very competitive around this track. Just picking up him now as he's coming towards turn 12 and 13.
Yes, well, again, this is... Oh, sorry, we've just had a big spin from Alex. Looks okay. He's got the car around, no damage. But a bit of a scary moment there, I dare say.
Not an easy part of the track here. Turns 14, 15. That'll be causing a lot of drivers a few headaches, I think.
Yes, absolutely. And this particular third sector at this track, a lot of the times, just because of the tricky nature of it, particularly this turn, the data is about to come to very deceptive. And sometimes, you know, you're just better off bailing out of the lap if you're risking not making the turn.
Yes, sir, and welcome on into Heggs and Mort. Heggs, mate, what happened? Data improves his fastest lap. He goes 34.6 for the McLaren F1 team. Lovely lap there, Guardian.
Yes, absolutely. First driver into the 34s, and Clunky's also improved. He's got a 35.1, so everybody's seeming to find grip, and maybe the track's just drying out just that little bit.
It could be. It could be. Here's Aussie in the Alpine. He is on an out lap. Anyone that you can see on flyers at the moment that we should maybe jump on board with? As far as I can see, it might be Aussie the next to the runners to set a competitive lap time, unless he is on the way in.
Well, JS44 looks to be on a hot lap now. He's down in P12, definitely looking to improve, and he's got it fairly on line through a really tricky sector 2. Very, very deceptive. A lot of the turns in this track are very deceptive. As part of the reason why I enjoy it, he's just come out through the stadium section now. But he looks to have it very online. It's very neat and tidy. Now can he get the power down? That's the question.
Very tricky little track indeed. It's an interesting track, Miami Guardian. If we can just talk on that, it's some big straights. It makes up a large part of the track, as you see, running sort of parallel to each other. The main two straights on the track, and then a smaller third straight of the start-finish line into turn 1. But the rest of the corners, it's sort of a mixture of slow and medium speed. There's nothing really fast and committed about the corners on this track. And how does a driver attack this place?
Well, you've really got to look at this track as, you know, as sort of a chess game. You know, you've really got to have a little bit of daring, but you've got to be very disciplined, especially in that first sector with those flying turns. And you really just got to get your downshifts and your braking on point. You know, I've had to bail out of a few laps here myself just by being a bit over speed or a bit under speed, and the car being a little too tight or a little too loose in different conditions. It's all about discipline, this track, really, I think. And JS44 on that subject has gone up to P9 with a 37.0.
Lovely. So good lap from him then. 37.0. Not a bad time at all then. Data has been electrifying. A 34.6. That is a very quick time. Clunky Boy up in P2. Huey up to P3. Aussie Ferrari P4. Average only our championship leader currently P5, and yet another week without Zakov. He's raced twice. He's DNF1. He won last week, but again, he's not here to defend. So it's a wide open playing field today in Miami. Who would you, if you were going to single out one driver to take the win, who would your money be on today?
Well, based on early pace in this particular event, I would have to say that we're probably looking at Data or Clunky Boy. They both seem to have it quite on point. Data's definitely got the 1 lap pace, and Clunky's definitely got a lot of consistency in his lap times. So
36.2 there for Aussie. Yes, absolutely. 36.2 there for Aussie. He goes up to P6 with a very nice lap there. That full guy in the Alpha Tauri, he's here today. Old mate in his Williams, P9, currently 36.9. He's lapping well. It looks like there's a Ferrari slow in between sector 2 and 3 there on the back straight, pardon me, coming into turn 12. He's just been overtaken by an Alfa Romeo. That would be Talaxian. Let's try and jump on board with Huey. I believe he'll be on a fast lap, just exiting turn 15 now.
Yes, Huey looks to have that car really settled in these wet conditions as well, which is something very, very hard to do. Looks like he's bailed out of the lap though.
Well, I tell you what, let's jump on board with Aussie in his Ferrari, currently sitting P5, and we'll get the Murray Walker out of Guardian here as he takes us on board for a lap of the Miami Grand Prix circuit. Eventually, once this lap does begin.
Yes, once the lap does begin. Alright, so looks like Aussie at the moment, just letting some traffic go by.
He's going very slow. That will not do his tyre temperatures any good. Let's just see if he does indeed start a lap. Take us all! Take it away, Guardian.
Alright, here we go. Starting the lap. It's a very short run up to turn 1 here. And you got to be early on the brakes, watch that concertina in the race. And then it's a very nice flick left and right for turns 2 and 3. You know, as much power as you dare, especially in these wet conditions. And then you're going to come around the next left-hander, and you got to bring it down the gears a little bit. Be disciplined about it. But you got to be very, very tight here because it leads into a third gear late apex, and then you're flat out again towards the first DRS zone. Well, you know, we're in dry conditions. And you'll go through these left and rights. It's completely flat out, and right about now you'll be wanting to get on the brakes, bring it all the way down to second or third gear. You know, maximise your traction. Then you sort of got to hold the high end of second gear here. You don't want to lose the torque by going into third. It's a very deceptive corner. As you come around, you want to short shift third up to fourth through the stadium, back down to second, hold second up the hill, and then you're onto the back straight, and you're going to go flat out here. You're gonna want to absolutely nail these gear shifts. As we come around, you might get a little held up here, and then about now by those Aramco barriers, you want to start, you know, bring it all the way down into second or first, depending on just how much grip you've got. Oh, he clapped the wall there a little bit, and he's bailed out of it. He's in the pits.
Challenging track. Here's average only. He's coming through sector 2 as it stands right now. Looks like he's warming up to go for one more push lap, perhaps.
Yes, and with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the session, I'd say everybody will be strapping on fresh tyres, getting that one last lap out. You know, it does take a bit of time to rotate around the track, keep those tyres warm and stay out of the way of everybody else. So we'll probably see one more flying lap from everybody to finalise these positions. And you really want to get out before that clock hits 2 minutes 45 to give yourself some space.
Ekem goes up to P3 there with a 34.9.
That is a very, very nice time as well. Top 3 separated by a little over 0.6 of a second. So we're in for a very tight race here.
Max Strapon, the only driver currently still remaining in the session yet to qualify with a lap time. It's Merlin P16, Max Height P15, expecting a good showing from him today in his Aston Martin. Currently staying P15, that lap was a 140 point something. But let's just quickly catch the end here of Dada's lap as Ekem is in the barrier. And here's Dada through turn 16 now. Turn 17, 18 to go. He's going to box. Huey, you dig boxing. Ekem was in the fence. Average only, a lot of cars in the pits. Alex just coming into sector 3 now. Let's stay on board with him, see if he can improve his lap time as we are within 3 minutes of the checkered flag falling on round 4 sprint qualifying, we'll call it. Because this will not set the grid for the main race. This will set the grid for the sprint race, which will then effectively set the grid for the main race, if you follow me. Here he goes around the third to last corner. The left hand of the second to last, penultimate, the right hand of the final corner, and Alex crosses the line and improves to a 36.1, promoting himself to P8 Guardian.
Yes, and that's definitely going to help him out going into the sprint race, and I'm very glad that they've changed the name to a sprint race rather than sprint qualifying, because that was something that always yeah, personally, with a little bit of my OC, and it looks like, sorry, Aussie with an E has just broken a piece of his front wing.
Yes,
going
and
over
there's
the
a
curb.
wheel on the track there. There is a wheel on the track, so we'll see what the stewards think about that. But there's a bit of a cluster here in the middle of the racetrack. There's a lot of cars just tripping over each other. Quite similar to what we saw a couple of Williams doing on Sunday night in the Elite Series.
I'm sure that was definitely not you and Mort. You guys don't drive for Williams, do you?
Oh, we would never. We would. If we did, we'd never trip over each other, would we? My good mate, Mort.
Not.
But here we go. Eyes on the action here as we approach 1 minute to go here. Clunky Boy up in P4. Ekem is out of the session. Huey, you dig, just getting held up there a little bit by an Alpine on his out lap. So hopefully no harm, no foul there. But who are the fast ones out there at the moment? Aussie in a Ferrari, currently with a 35.8. He'll be looking to improve as he begins maybe one last flying lap in this session. Let's stay on board with the young man and see what he can conjure up for us in the magnificent streets of Miami today. So here he is through the long right-hander. It's everlasting here. Power strapped to the floor. Through the left-hander, hug the barrier before getting the car back to the right. No time to rest on the steering wheel as you're back to the left. A very lazy, lackadaisical, long left-hand corner there. He hits the apex beautifully there. Throws down all the power and blast off down the back straight. That looked very neat and tidy for Aussie here. I'm sure he's going to be up on his Delta. And the track may be just starting to dry as we see less and less rain falling here. But here he goes down into turn 12 now. Or turn 11. Now into turn 12. It's the long right-hander, sort of a double apex. He's all over those inside curves. Of course, they're flat, just painted, so nothing to desatisfy, or unsettle the car is the word I'm looking for. And then bringing the car back to the left, keeping it well away from the barrier. Very conservative there.
Yes, absolutely. You have to be in these wet conditions, and in the dry, you maybe throw a little more risker to get those wheels inches from the wall, but definitely not in the wet conditions. But as you say, Aussie with a wide, definitely looking on a very good lap here. Now, can he improve it?
Let's see.
Final lap's coming in now.
We are about to find out. Here we go. Some beautiful camera shots through the final two corners. And he goes up to P3 there for the Ferrari. That's his session done. Brilliant lap. Let's keep an eye now on Huey. It looks like his lap is invalid, so he will not improve. Data is on a flyer here. We'll see if he can improve his pole time. I'd expect him to do that. Clunky Boy is now the main challenger, and he's just approaching the end of his lap. 3 or 4 cars ahead of him in the sort of the last real corner of the racetrack, but third last technically. Gets the power down, easing on that throttle. He wasn't full throttle for a long time. Crosses the line. Clunky Boy will be very happy with that. Propels himself up to P2, the front row of the grid. That's fantastic. Average only has crossed. He's P6, the full guy P7. Talaxian, Alex, Cards. Data does improve to a 34 flat. That is just a crazy lap time. Well done to him. Aussie in the Alpine P11, Old Mate P12, Max Height P13, followed by Albino Josh, JS44, Merlin Heggs, Max Strap-on, and Lightning, the only one to DNF. But there was a few cars actually didn't set a time there at the end, so I'm sure they'll be disappointed, but looking to come through the field in the sprint. But that pole time from Data was just flat out tremendous.
It was absolutely phenomenal. But, as they say, anything can happen in racing, and it usually does.
There we go. So there's your grid. The front row of Data and Clunky Boy, followed by row 2, Huey and Aussie. Row 3, Ekem and Average Only. Row 4, the full guy, Talaxian. And row 5, rounding out the top 10, is Alex and Cards. So there's your top 10. Further on down, it's Aussie, Old Mate, Max High, Albino, Josh, and then the rest of the crew. Get to that now. Albino, Josh, JS44, Merlin, Heggs, Max Strap-on, Lightning, and the latter of those 3 cars not setting lap times for various reasons, I guess.
Yeah, so I'll be very interested to see the strats that the boys put on for the sprint race here, because Miami is a very rare track where, if you're good on the tires, you can actually get to the end of the sprint on the soft compound. So it'll be very interesting to see
Fascinating.
everybody uses mediums, or if some go for the softs.
That is fascinating, Guardian. If you can get to the end of the softs, I mean, that'd really give you a big advantage early on. But I think those soft tyres would degrade substantially by the end of the race. But, do you take that risk? Do you do the roll of the dice, perhaps get a safety car that helps you out? Or do you go conservative on the medium and just put the pedal to the metal and go, go, go to steal a line of the famous George Morgan and Murray Walker combined? What would you do in this situation?
Well, I mean, look, if I'm further up the field, basically anywhere inside the top 10 here, you play it safe. You go on the mediums, you get to the end. That's pretty basic. But you might roll the dice if you're further down the field and try and improve for the main game as we start the formation lap now.
Well, here we go. It's a 0-stop, medium or hard tyre. The soft tyre not getting a look in, but I'm curious to see if anyone is going to make that gamble. Let's jump in, have a look at the tyre compounds here at the start of the race. Everybody is on the medium tyre, looking to go to the end of the race here. Favourable conditions for the Haas boys. We've got some support for Haas in the chat. Your boys Albino, Josh, and Merlin flying the Haas Master Flag. P14 and P16, they'll be looking to charge through this field tonight.
Yes, it's definitely going to be an interesting sprint race. We'll definitely see how much lightning can actually pull out here.
Yes, from the back. He's a fast guy, so I'm expecting him to make up a few positions, but there's plenty of quick guys at the front. Data, Clunky Boy, very impressed with his performance. Huey up to P3, Aussie P4, Ekam P5 did very well as well. Watch out for him because he can be lightning quick. Average only, the championship leader, is P6. He's got his work cut out, but for him, I think consistent finishes are the most important. The full guy's P7. No Val tonight either. He's been impressive throughout this series so far. Alex has got some pace about him. Cars I've not seen before, so his first appearance in front of me tonight. Aussie IE in the Alpine. Old mate, I'm sure we're looking to improve, along with the rest of the crew towards the back of the field. So for sure there's going to be some fireworks. Keep your eyes on the action, Guardian. Let me know if there's anything we need to put the cameras on through the start of this race, but I'm looking forward to the call here. I hope you are too. And we are just about set for racing here. Round 4, Miami Race Spec PC Pacific Series. It's the Miami Sprint Grand Prix.
Yes, looking very much forward to the start of this race. It's a very short run down to turn 1, so everybody's going to have to be prepared to get on the brakes a little early. You don't want to cause an accident in the first turn. You also don't want to be collected by an accident in the first turn. So I think if everyone stays disciplined about this first turn, it's a very, very, very short run. It's actually rather.
Okay, sorry, Guardian. I'm going to have to cut you off there as we're about to go racing. The grid is now forming up. My apologies, sir. We've just got to get to the start of the race now. So here we go. The cars are all set in the grid here, and we're ready for a start here in the sprint. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 and 5 lights on. Get ready for the launch. Blast off, and we're away in Miami. It's a great start from the pole sitter Data. Also a good start from row 2. Huey breezes on by. It's not a good start for Clunky Boy. Challenged into turn 1. Huey goes around the outside. Ekam looking for a way up the inside, but nothing doing for him just yet. Some yellow flags at the back. Side by side here. Ekam and Clunky Boy. The battle for P3 is heating up early. And Clunky Boy holds on. Very well done. Aussie sits P5. Looks like some trouble back to the mid portion of the field here. Alex up to P6. Old Mate's had a tremendous start. Heggs, has he gained positions as well? I think he has, but who's the one that's lost out there? I think Aussie in the Alpine. Anyone else, Guardian? Was there a bit of a moment there in the middle of the pack?
There was actually a moment in turn 1 involving Max Hyde and one of the Alpines, I believe.
It's average only, sorry. Average only is the one that's lost out massive. I knew there was a car, the championship leader, involved in a squabble here through the opening. He's lost his end plate on the opening lap in the first few corners. A 5-second penalty already distributed out to Old Mate. Cards has had an incident as well, so well spotted by Donut Guy in the chat there. Cards and average only perhaps coming together. We'll have to have a look at that one back later on. But some drama there with the championship leader involved in an early accident. That's going to make him his hopes of scoring points today very challenging as we see Lightning and Old Mate doing battle.
Yeah,
Talaxian back to P10. Data is off as well. Fastest lap on lap 1. Here's Hegs and Lightning. There, Will to Will. Lightning in a Williams. Used to seeing him in a Red Bull, but big battle between the teammates here. This is good to see. An average only. His day's gone from bad to worse as he's just got pinned for a 5-second penalty in the pit lane.
Yes, he'll be very disappointed with that start. There was a 3-car pile up in the first corner. One of the Red Bulls involved. I didn't catch which one though. I think it may have been Cards. But yeah, not a great start for average only. But yeah, he's quick. He'll bring this back.
Yes, we definitely know he's got some pace. Max Strap-on has left the session. And we see here Ekam just trying to prowl around the rear wing of Huey and try and put the pressure on here for P2 in the early stages of the sprint race. Through the chicane they go. We'll see what Ekam can do here. Is he just going to push flat out? We're going to have DRS next lap as well, but it's the 99 car in the lead. McLaren's doing rather well right now, currently sitting in P1, P6. Huey's got to make sure that he keeps up the pace with Data as best he can. Could potentially have a 3 or 4 or even a 5-way fight for the lead.
Yes, and the two Williams a bit further back doing a bit of battle as well.
They're having a great scrap here, Old Mate and Lightning. It was just taking me a while just to readjust as Lightning there just ignores the racetrack and made his own. Not sure if he got a little bit of a shoulder barge from his teammate there, but that was quite a bizarre moment, but he looks all good. He's recovered, and I'm sure he'll be mounting another charge. But great start for him from the back, already up 10 places to P9. So Lightning doing really well, and that's Huey. Huey's had a moment in Sector 1. He's off the track, losing a bunch of positions here, being absolutely swallowed up by the rest of the pack. He finds himself back down in P14 now. That's probably good news for our race leader, Data, because it's a 2-second gap back to Ekam, and then a further 1.5 seconds back to Clunky Boy. Aussie, the first car on the track who can open his DRS from P4.
Yes, and Aussie's definitely going to take advantage of that. He's quick and strategic and sound, so he'll be looking to take advantage when they get down towards the stadium section. He's just got to stay on him. He's doing a very, very good job of that.
There goes Lightning up the inside of turn 12. That was an incredible pass. Somewhere you really don't expect to see a move, and Lightning said, yeah, well, watch this. And he absolutely bamboozled his teammate Old Mate there, and he's left absolutely perplexed and dazed and running in P8 at the moment. Talaxian looking to get in on the battle as well.
Yes, no team orders there for sure, and it was a very clean overtake. That's what you want with team cars. You don't want to get involved with each other, and Data sitting on 130.4.
Not the first time this week we've seen a couple of Williams do battle in Miami. It's a common occurrence. So good to see. Long may that continue. And Lightning's even got ahead of Hegs now as well. So the pace in his car is it's good. So keep an eye on him. Let's see how far up the order he can make it in this sprint race. Alex up to P5 now as well. And Clunky Boy, he's fallen foul of Aussie. So Aussie now up to the podium. And Clunky Boy's just got to keep his composure. Try and remount a challenge if he can. And, the podium in this sprint well and truly alive for him. He's impressed me, Clunky Boy. He's got some pace. That new SF1000 will obviously doing him wonders.
Yes, well, it is a very, very nice wheel, and, delivers very, very smooth force feedback. And that's what you want in a wheel, and it's probably, I would say, at this point in time, the best mid-range wheel, if we can consider direct drive to be high range, probably the best mid-range wheel you can get for the best price right now.
Here goes Clunky Boy. He's got to get the DRS open now into turn 16. Down the last straight.
Next straight. Aussie's definitely got some serious pace to defend this off, though.
Sorry, turn 17 this is. I must apologise once again. I'm extremely unprepared tonight. But Aussie able to defend there into turn 17 through 18 and 19. And let's see here. Will this go for a move in turn 1? He does not. And just holding stations at the moment, but I'd expect to see him mount another challenge on the next straight, as long as he keeps up this pace. Looks like he went a fraction wide there, but
Yeah,
No real time lost.
Sorry, I'd say he's just, by the look of the back of his car, I'd say he's just conserving the ERS a bit.
Yes, actually, where's our little telemetry? There it is. A little bit low on battery, but let's see what he can do here. He's going to pick up the effects of a slipstream. Looks like Old Mate has just had a moment, dropping down the order to P15 as it stands. But here we go, side by side now between Aussie and Clunky Boy. Clunky Boy, the attacker. Aussie, the defender. Here they go. Under braking. Is he going to make it stick around the outside? He just about is, you know. That's a great move. Well done, assisted with DRS. And Clunky Boy, like I said, just needed to keep the pace, remount the challenge, retake P3. He's done just that. But now the same thing applies to Aussie in the Ferrari.
Yes, absolutely. And Miami, a very hard track to actually save your ERS as well. So
horrendous.
ERS management plays a massive part in this, and you can see that Clunky is in fact with the red light on the back of that Red Bull flashing, trying to save his ERS.
Here we go, Aussie. Back down the inside, Clunky Boy very late on the brakes. Maybe looking for somewhat of a switchback here. It looks like he gets decent traction. Gets his front wheels alongside the Ferrari. They go side by side through the final few corners. Down the straight, Clunky Boy with DRS once again. Into turn one. Can he get it around the outside? He kept it in there. And Aussie yields. Sensational driving. Red Bull Ferrari. What a battle. Bang! Clunky Boy up to P3.
Yes, it brings back the memories of old 2013, 2014 Ferrari and Red Bull doing battle. And it looks like Data's absolutely walking away with this now. A 4.5 second gap back to ECAM.
Well, we won't say he's cantering, but there's a moment. Lightning has gone around. He's
done a Scandinavian flick there.
Oh, he's done a reset the track. I don't know if that's allowed. But he's done the reset the track. Saved himself a bit of time there in that moment. And Lightning, he'll be disappointed with that, but still P9. So still some points on offer for him here. He's got the pace. He's just got to regroup, compose himself, and send it one more time. I know we want to see the Haas boys. We want to get some screen time on them. Looking at them doing a duel through the chicanes here in Miami. P12, P13 looking to find their way into the top 10. The full guy having a lovely race. P11, Max Height rounding out the top 10, and there's some big battles ahead here. This is looking very interesting as we approach the three-quarter mark of this sprint race.
Yes, and it's been a very, very clean sprint race as well. As looks like Aussie with the white just falling off a little bit from Clunky Boy, but he'll get that DRS wide open and might go for a lunge. No, he won't.
Another driver looking to recover after an early moment is Huey, and he's looking to make his way past Talaxian into turn one. He looks quick there. Gets his front wing all over the rear diffuser of Talaxian. He looks like he's got a bit of pace and he wants to use it. But Talaxian getting his elbows out, making his car as wide as possible, doing all the right things, putting his car in all the right places. Doing a very good defensive job right now.
Well, a Formula One car is not allowed to be any wider than 2 meters wide. How wide do you think that Talaxian can make that Alfa Romeo?
Oh, I think at least a track's width.
Well, he's doing a very good job of that right now.
Here he goes. Look at him. He's defending very well. He's going to send Huey to the outside here. Pins his car on the inside white line. And you've got Lightning back there as well, looking to find a way. Can't do it. Huey around the outside, and once again we see a move there in turn 11 and 12. It's great stuff. I'm loving seeing the cars actually make the move stick and keeping it all very fair and respectable as well. This is what we wanted to see.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a fantastic sprint race. We're just shy of 3 laps from the end of the race as well, and there's been some very good battles up and down the order.
It's Merc on Merc, and Huey goes past Hags. Hags is not really going to put up much of a fight on this one. Perhaps a couple of team orders in play there. Talaxian, he tried to capitalise, but instead he's gone for a bit of a spin. Talaxian finds himself facing the wrong way through the penultimate corner. What an unfortunate moment there for the Alfa Romeo driver, but he keeps it out of the barriers. That's so important. Held the brakes and kept his composure and lives to die another day.
Yes, he did the old NASCAR lock it down and kept it out of the wall. Yeah, that's a very key factor around these straight tracks. Yeah, you don't have a lot of room for error and there's very little runoff.
Right, well, what can Lightning do here in the final 2 and a bit laps? Is he going to be able to pull himself up to P6? It'd be a great recovery, actually, from the back of the grid. But here's Aussie trying to recapture the final place on the podium. He's all over the rear wing here of Clunky Boy. And then a fair gap to Ecam in P2 running his own race. And, of course, Data, the leader, the 99 McLaren car right now just streaking away. He's got this one signed, sealed, and delivered unless something crazy happens in his cockpit. Yellow flags. Looks like they're cleared now. And there's a Haas in the top 10. It was called in the chat by... Who called that? Who called Haas in the top 10? Trepid Films. There you go. The wish might just come true. Believe it. Max Height, though, splits the Haas cars in P11, and he'll have DRS on Merlin, so that job's not done yet. And welcome on in. Buster, great to see you, mate. Get in there. Let's go. Alex now. P5 under immense pressure from Huey. Lightning's got past Heggs, but he's got 1.5 seconds to make up to get into this top 5 battle. Yellow flags in Sector 2. That is... Where's that? That's old mate. No, it's Aussie. Oh, no, Aussie. In the Alpine, he's abandoned the session. So that's his race done. All right, back to the main battle here. And it's Alex defending from Huey. Lightning trying to pull his way into the race here as well, keeping himself in top 5 contention. But here goes Huey. Alex is going to defend hard to the inside, making Huey go around the long way. We've seen a lot of cars make that move. And Huey gets it done before the braking zone. Alex having a little bit of a look, but thinks better of it. And that's a great move, and Huey up into the top 5.
Yes, that turn 11 becoming a very popular overtaking zone. And a bit further back down the field, Albino Josh has gone past Max Height, so that is the Haas boys in 10th and 11th.
Haas boys P10, P11, you love that. And here goes Lightning. Lightning's got a lot of pace right now. And I reckon he's going to get past Alex into turn 17 here. Alex defends the inside, makes his one move. Lightning, under braking, hasn't quite got that move done. They're side by side. He runs out of room. Alex puts him all the way on the curb. Great defensive driving. Lightning now finds a way through the inside of the final corner. Brilliant stuff. And that's him up to P6 on the recovery of dreams.
Yes, an absolutely fantastic move there. They've got one more race.
Oh, the full guy, a big moment. Lost the rear, gathered it up. The number 2 had 2 bites of the cherry. He continues on. Sorry, Guardian, but that was a big moment for the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, so it's like a few people having some big moments, and just following this battle with Max Height and Albino Josh. And
Take it away, mate. Take it away.
Max Height has actually split the Haas boys again, so with time running out, can Albino Josh actually get the place back? He's definitely got the pace. I'm wondering. It looks like Max Height saved up a bit of the ERS, so he might actually be able to walk away with this. And Albino Josh now looks to be under siege from Talaxian, who's making a move down the inside. It's a very clean move. I think he might get
Data had a moment here, but Data is going to come through. Sorry, Guardian. Data is going to come through, win the Miami Sprint Grand Prix, but there's a bit of action here, all for P5. I think there might have been a moment there, because Lightning's now 3 seconds off the back of Huey. He's going to consolidate P5. Ekame crosses P2. It's going to be Clunky Boy, the final step of the podium. Aussie P4. Huey P5. Lightning is going to recover to P6. Fantastic job from him. And anyone's guess right now for P8, but I think Heggs will hold on. Alex P7, the full guy P9. And Merlin Guardian is going to hold on for P10.
Oh, very nice. And Talaxian's just made the move on Albino Josh. It was wheel to wheel, but Albino Josh actually got him back.
Got him back. Good stuff then. Great sprint race. JS44 is going to finish as well. He's going to get P14. Cards has recovered to P15. Max Strap-On is going to cross P16, and Average only a race to forget for that man. The championship leader, I don't believe will score here in the sprint race. He's going to finish in P17. Old mate P18 and Aussie. An early retirement P19. And a 5-second penalty for Average only as well. That may demote him one more spot.
I believe it will. Because I believe he was only 3 and a bit seconds off of average only, and so I think we'll definitely see that promote him. It's going to lead to some very, very interesting strategies for the main race, and average only also going on to that second set of mediums will mean that he only has scrub mediums to use for the main race. He won't have any fresh sets, so it'll be very, very interesting to see how he approaches that.
Well, there we go. So there we go. There's the top 3 from the Miami Sprint Grand Prix. It's Data, Ekam, and Clunky Boy on the podium. I believe that's Clunky Boy's first podium of the season, so congratulations to him. He drove a thrilling drive from the front row and came under siege from Aussie and held on very bravely, and also rounding out the top 5 there, Huey, a fantastic result. I know he gets a little bit of support in the chat each week, so the Huey fans will love that. And we've got some Haas boys there that absolutely love seeing their boys come home in the top 10 there. Now, points for the sprint races in race spec. It's not just the top 8 that score points, Guardians. So I'll just bring up the point system here for the sprint race. So it's the top 10 that score. So Haas did get a sprint race point there. The point system is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from Ps 1 to 10. So good stuff there. Points for the Haas. You love to see it. And hopefully they can consolidate further come race main in 30 seconds.
Yeah, so they definitely showed some phenomenal pace, the Haas boys there. So I'll be keeping just a bit of an eye on them through the main event. But now, tyre strategy comes into it. We've seen people, be movers and shakers through that sprint race, and we'll see who the movers and shakers are in this main race, and who can do some damage limitation and who can take advantage.
Absolutely. Trepid Films tipping Haas to P1. Now, wouldn't that be a sight to behold? But here we go. The grid is now set. The strategies, hard to medium. You'll be boxing between laps 16 and 24. You could do a 2-stop onto the medium and soft tyre as well, splitting up the 29 laps. But, Guardian, what are you expecting to see here, mate? You're quite analytical. That's your main focus. And if you had to call a strategy, what would you say is going to be the key to unlocking the first spot on the podium today?
Well, I mean, me personally, I think that we'll be looking for the guys on the medium tires to make the one stop work there. I think the mediums are definitely going to come into play. Of course, the risk you have with the hards is that early safety car, and if the guys behind you get the free stop. I see Merlin is the only driver actually starting on the soft tire, so I think he'll be counting on an early safety car. Definitely going for a 2-stop. The soft hard I don't think will work out so well here, but maybe if you can take advantage, nurse the tires to the end. But I would say probably your best bet here is starting on mediums and hoping for a clean race, getting out of that traffic early.
I'll tell you what, the boys have done an insanely quick outlap here. Data's just coming through the turn 16 now, as we get ready to go racing for the main race here in the Miami GP. Stand by for race start, ladies and gentlemen. Get the popcorn, get your coffees, get your vodka. What's
I'll take my whiskey, mate.
Your Budweiser, perhaps? We are in America. I'm just trying to think of American alcoholic beverages that we can consume on this fine evening.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Blue Label.
Please drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, looks like the grid coming around to reform for the start of this race now.
Here we go. Yes, started the pole setter. Cruising on up to his number 1 spot on the grid in the striking blue and pink helmet. Going to be Ekam lining up with him on the front row. Clunky Boy P3. Aussie missing his grid slot for P4. And there's a Haas lining up in the top 10. And here we go. Set for the main race here in Miami. Race spec, round 4.
Yes, I tell you what, Ekam gave me a bit of a hard jump there.
And here we go. The lights illuminate. Get ready for the launch. And we're off and racing. Data from the pole, gets another great start. It's a flyer for Ecam. He challenges Data into turn 1, down the inside, makes the move stick. Brilliant. Ecam goes bang off the line. That was tremendous. Alex further back in P7 getting a little bit tangled up. There was a Haas going wide there as well. That's Merlin. It looks like, big moment there. Front wing comes off. Who's lost their wing? Who can we spot? There's an end plate off to Laxian, I think it is. Not a great start for Albino Josh either. They're about 5 wide through turn 5. Oh boy, that's not going to work. Something has to give. There's just cars everywhere. And contact there, the Williams in the back of the Haas. They've had a terrible start. And Max Height swimming through the danger. P15, average only. Crazy stuff. He's up to P10 avoiding the carnage. Crazy start, and here's the full guy, and Alex going wheel to wheel into P11. The full guy keeps his nose into P12. They're well and truly side by side on board with the full guy. He doesn't clear Alex, and he's gone around. That could be wing damage as well for the McLaren. Carnage all the way across lap 1, but will we survive the first lap without a safety car for the first time this year? I think we might. I think we just might do it. Some sensational racing. Absolutely brilliant, but some chaotic moments nonetheless.
Yes, and it looks like JS44 had some contact with Max Height. Max Height missing the end plate, and I saw that lunge into turn 1. So yeah, three wide doesn't work into turn 1. And,
look at all these cars. Look at them all. Everyone squabbling over multiple positions here. One move could mean the difference between 3 spots right now. This is fantastic.
So we've got Alex and
a Haas in the wall. A Haas in the wall. That was Albino Josh. And there's a car around as well. More wing flying. Surely we're just about at the safety car stage. No, we go back to green flag racing, and long may this continue. This is sensational. Here's Old Mate now looking to find his way around a Ferrari of Max Strap-on, JS44.
Yes, the Max Height has lost his front wing, so he'll need to box this lap. Looks like Aussie with the knees also in the pits, and probably a lot of damage to that Alpine.
There's a lot happening. Huey's just got by Aussie up in P4 there through turns 11 and 12. So another one bites the dust in that section of the track. It's the place to be for overtaking at the moment. And it's fast and furious stuff here coming at you from Miami, round 4 for the Race Spec PC Pacific Series. And it's Ecam blasting off into the lead. Clunky Boy's up to P2. Data P3. Maybe looking to recapture P2, but he won't just yet.
Yes, also we've got a couple of cars missing front wings as well, so expect to see a flurry of stops as we come around this lap.
Let's just see who's got the damage right now. Looks like average only. He's okay. The full guy escaping damage. Oh, Merlin looks like he's kept his car in relatively good condition. He was involved in a number of squabbles. Old Mate, has he got his M plates? He does, as does Max Strap-on. JS44 has got absolutely nothing there. The second Haas now of Albino Josh is okay. Max Height into the pits. Talaxian's okay. And Alex doesn't look like he's got any damage, unless that's unbody or perhaps rear wing, but he's staying out. Cards is a fair way back. His wing's intact as well, and Aussie was very, very slow across that lap. Not sure if he's missing an end plate or not. Looks like he's okay.
Yes, well, Cards did go into the pits on that first lap. He did have front wing damage, so that has been replaced, and that's why he's down the order just a bit.
So Ecam then is the leader. He had a fantastic start, got to the inside of turn 1. Not sure if Data could have defended that any better than he did, unless he drove it all the way over to the white line, but that would have compromised his run into turnway anyway. So I think Ecam absolutely nailed his race start and did a textbook pass there. It was very good to see, but Data's even lost out to Clunky Boy here. Let's just have a look at what tyres those guys are on. And as expected, Data is on the hards along with a rafter of other cars. And those hard tyres are very hard to heat up at this track, believe me. And we also see Merlin on the soft tyre.
Yes, Merlin doing a very good job on the soft tyre, staying P10. He's kept it completely clean as Ecam sets off 31-2, fast lap of this race.
And Data now up the inside of turn 1, makes the pass on Clunky Boy. That's him back up to P2, so he'll be trying to warm up those hard tyres ASAP and shrink that lead, which currently stands at 3.3 seconds as we have yellow flags out. It's Lightning He's had another excursion in the wrong direction, but looks like he's going to maintain the P6 just about, at least momentarily, until Hegs and Average Only are able to find a way by. The full guy trying to pounce as well as a Ferrari off the track as well. Aussie from P4 has demoted himself now to P9. I believe that was another single car incident.
Yes, and just a bit further down the field in 18th
there's
place.
another one. Alex is out. Alex is out of the race and the safety car is deployed. And we have got a full course safety car. Looks like he's had a big moment into the wall, the front wing all over the track. It's been threatening, hasn't it, the safety car? But for the first time this season, we complete more than half a racing lap before the safety car comes out. So well done to the lads. We've seen some fantastic battles out there. It was great to watch. But on lap 4, the safety car rears its ugly head once again. And that's going to allow those hard tyre runners to basically reset their race and go once again.
Yes, and right now with the safety car and with the free stop available, it would be a very good idea for Merlin to jump into the pits.
And the drivers could get a free stop under the safety car, of course.
Yes, I feel like Merlin would be the most advantageous person to jump into the pits, and he absolutely has, taking that free stop. And looks like we've got Aussie with a Y jumping into the pits in the Ferrari.
And along with Old Mate.
Yes, and all these boys definitely going to have to stop again, but taking advantage of the free stop. Looks like Aussie's gone onto the soft tyre as well as we see the boys down at Haas get this stop done, and it's a very clean stop. And it looks like he's gone onto the hard tyre.
Are you seeing rain out there, or is that just me?
No, I think that's just you. I think it's just a little bit of haze at this point. We've got a lot of cloud cover coming over.
Could be a weird graphical bug there on the onboards of these machines, but I am, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing rain falling on the track right now.
Well, if we do get some rain, it's going to pretty much mitigate everybody's strategy.
Not too sure. Could just be a graphical problem with the game. But I'm definitely seeing some weird things on my screen right now. But anyway, regardless of that, Ekem has the lead through this safety car interval. Followed by Data, Clunky Boy, Huey, and Average Only, the top 5. Average Only from the back of the grid has got himself up to P5. That's tremendous for the championship leader. D Mull, welcome to the chat. Hegs, one of the drivers, is saying that the rain is spitting. So we are. I'm not crazy. I'm not seeing things that are not really there before my eyes. It is actually raining on the track right now, but it's only very, very light. So still dry conditions. There's definitely a few drops starting to fall. This could really make things interesting. And those, I tell you what, Guardian, the car's on the hard tyre. This could be an absolute nightmare if the temperatures are dropping.
Oh, absolutely, and it's about it's about half the field at the moment on the hard compound tyre.
There's cars pitting. Is this going to be for intermediates? It is. Data, Clunky Boy, and Max Strap-on, the best name on the grid, have all pitted for the intermediate tyre. Mr. P in the commentary booth spots the rain. Everyone thinks he's crazy, but there it is. The drivers oblige, and it's wet. Wet in Miami.
Yeah, so this is going to make for a very interesting restart. It's really a hard one to call because you're under the safety car and it's like, well, is it going to rain enough to get this track wet enough by the restart, or is this just a shower passing over? And I tell you what, Data, Clunky Boy, and Max Strap-on, if the rain does start to hit harder, they've made an absolute masterstroke, and if it doesn't, well, they might be in a bit of trouble.
This is going to be something spectacular. I'll tell you what, this race has got the makings of the best one so far this year. We've got dry and wet weather, we've got split strategies, we've got safety cars, we've had colossal battles already. We're only 6 laps in, we've got another, 23 to go?
Yes, 23 this time across the line.
Incredible.
Yes, and that rain I can confirm now is getting harder, so I think we will see a flurry of cars into the pits this lap.
It's definitely getting harder, but is the safety car going to come in now? I think the safety car is going to be in this lap. Let's see then. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure safety car is going to be... It is in. Safety car is in this lap. So here we go. Ekem is on control of the restart. He's going to become the safety car. The bad news is we see puddles forming on the straight here. There's a lot of cars on the dry tyres. Everyone all the way down to Data in P11 are on the dry tyres. They've either got to stay out or stop immediately. Either way, they're going to fall to the back. But Ekem, he is going to take control of the restart here in Miami, and he is off. And I don't know what's happening behind him, but I can't see anyone in the camera field. Is there anyone in the pits, perhaps? No. Average only just didn't get started. Absolutely gone. Ekem in another postcode. He's almost on the other side of the United States right now. Absolutely nailing the restart, catching multiple cars napping. But let's keep an eye on Data. What's the grip like on the intermediates? It's looking okay, but he's been done by Clunky Boy. And he's had a moment. He's lost his wing, Clunky Boy. There's an end plate gone. There's a Ferrari, I think, in trouble there as well. And that's going to allow Data back through. He's up to P7 then as we get a lovely aerial shot. And Data down the inside of two cars. Oh, it's treacherous out there. It's too slippery for the dry tyre. They just can't heat them up. They can't get the grip, but Data can. Bang! What a move. One of the best we've seen, albeit in these conditions, but he is flying right now. Look at this. This is brilliant. He's electrified, charged up. You can't stop him. He's gone from P9 to P3 in less than half a lap. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a race.
Yes, everybody on the dry tyre is going to have to come in. We've got multiple yellow flags. Drivers really struggling out there in these wet conditions on the dry tyres. We see a Williams go round.
Data spun a car into the fence. That's average only. The championship leader. What happened there? He got the power down and absolutely binned him.
Yeah, and that's the VSC. And Max Height with a 5-second time penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. Huey, you dig, he's in a very advantageous position now. He did go in at the restart to strap on the intermediate tyres. Everybody on the dry tyres has to come in now.
Oh, wow.
There's no way you can stay out any longer on these dry tyres.
That was a chaotic moment. Data absolutely flying. He's got so much pace, but we'll have to see the POVs from after the race, but that looked like he was trying to find some room where there wasn't any, and he just put the power down, and it was a bit of nose-to-tail action, and Average Only's found himself out of the Grand Prix. Huge implications for the championship.
Yes, and Huey, you dig, also getting a drive-through penalty and all of that as well. There's also a couple of the boys actually getting drive-through penalties. I would have actually served it under the VSC, to be honest.
Just looking at his car model, it looks like he might be maybe a bit of lag there as well. I'm not too sure, but yeah, we'll have to get both drivers' POVs after the race on that one, but it definitely looked like Data might be in for a bit of a penalty on that moment, just from what we saw live. But nevertheless, he has the lead of the race. He's got a massive gap now back to Ekem. That's 12 seconds, but we now have the entire field on the intermediate tyre through lap 8 of the Grand Prix here.
Actually, we don't. Sorry to cut you off there, but actually we don't. We've got Talaxi and Max Height and Lightning all still on dry tyres.
Wow, okay, so they're up in P4, 5, and 6. Thank you, Guardian, for that one. They are still on the dry tyres, but you'd have to say they'd be losing a lot of time. And we see Max Height going around there, and that's hindered Lightning, who's now lost out to Huey, who just basically was like taking candy off a baby through turn 12 there, and Huey's basically then stopped. I think that maybe Huey was done for an illegal overtake, and then there's contact. It's all getting a bit messy. These conditions playing havoc, and I don't think that was bad driving from either of them. I think there's a bit of a problem with the game of Lightning now. Got on the noisy pedal. That has to be a safety car, surely. As multiple cars taken out there, Lightning has stayed in the race, thankfully. It's tricky out there, isn't it, for these drivers right now? There's multiple cars really struggling.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely a heartbreaking race for some of these drivers, and it looks like we've got another Aston around as well. But can I just say that Albino Josh in the Haas has done an absolutely fantastic job to get that car up to third place.
Yes, Stark's in the pits now, so they'll be strapping on some dry tyres, no doubt. But yes, let's not discredit the Haas car. On the podium currently, Albino Josh sitting in P3. That is tremendous. Aussie's recovering quite well from an early moment as well, up to P4, followed by Heggs. And Heggs is looking quite quick right now. He's looking pretty pacey. But there's a big train of cars all the way from P3 right down to P7 right now. Looking like it's going to be a very nice battle as these laps progress here in the intermediate conditions in Miami. Plenty of action, plenty of drama. Championship implications tonight. This is great to watch.
Yes, and I think Max Strapon might have a bit of a connectivity issue because his car is ghosted and still on the dry tyre.
Okay, right, copy that. There's old mate trying to make a move on Merlin. And the full guy nipping at the heels as well, and he's going to put his car down the inside there, the full guy. Oh, it's going to be very hard to go side by side, and a little touch there. Just made the full guy think otherwise of making an overtake through turns 13 and 14. I'm sure he's not going to give up the ghost. He'll be sending it into turn 17. Trying to make a move perhaps under braking as we see Max Strapon's car pulling over to the side. Here goes the full guy and old mate. Is he going to go for it under braking? He has a look at the inside, the full guy. And he does go for a move there. They're pretty evenly matched under braking. They give each other plenty of racing room. That's great to see. And the full guy is going to make that move stick there and claw his way into P10. Great move then from the AlphaTauri on the Williams.
Yes, very good move, and it looks like Max Strapon is in the pit, so probably going to chuck on a set of those intermediate tyres and get back out there. This train of cars though at the moment, the P8 to P12 battle, led by JS44, and he's doing a very good job in these wet conditions to just hold off that train.
Yes, well, everyone's pace, as you mentioned earlier, is really neutralised by the rain here and the intermediate tyres. So it just comes down to the raw pace of the drivers now. It's pretty much a free-for-all. A couple of them stopped, on different laps, but it's all pretty much even on these intermediate tyres. But the full guy making a move here. He's obviously got some pace at the moment. He's come through JS44 and captures P8 now. And oh, a lot of cars there just bottling themselves up. That's Merlin has lost out a couple of spots. Huey's picked up a position. And old mate having a real scrap there. Clunky boy trying to get amongst the action as well.
Yes, and I think Merlin did get a bit of assistance there as
well. JS44 hit the wall.
I think he might have got away with that one. And it looks like he has. Massive battle going on with Huey, you dig, right now. And they're going to come down under braking. I think Huey's got him here, actually. And he has. And he'll get right before the apex. And very good job.
Good move from Huey. Let's have a look at old mate as well. He's going to be looking for a way past JS44, maybe into turn 1. Some great action tonight. This is really a pleasure to watch. And great to see the drivers having a real ding-dong. And keeping it clean in the process. Sure, there's been a couple of spills and a couple of mistakes made, but considering the conditions they're driving in, it's been phenomenal.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's a very, very tricky conditions as I'm just on board now with Albino, Josh, and Aussie with a Y doing battle. The Ferrari on the Haas, both powered by Ferrari power units from the Tifosi. And it looks like Albino just got a little bit more pace than Aussie with a Y.
He's hanging on really well.
Yes, he really is. These wet conditions really playing to his advantage. He's got absolutely phenomenal car control. Says, no thanks, I'm not going to open the door at turn 11 for you.
Yeah, this is great to see. Great battle to watch. Huey's doing well back there in P9, scrapping away, but it's Heggs who's trying to find a way into this podium battle as well. The gap at the front's pretty steady, around about 12 seconds, so Data and Ekam pretty evenly matched there. But yeah, great to see a lot of the cars on the straight at the same time and multiple battles spread throughout the field. Really what we want as commentators, and I'm sure what you guys want as viewers, and what the drivers want as drivers as well. Everyone loves this. Everyone loves this, what we're seeing at the moment. And long may it continue as we approach the halfway mark of the main Grand Prix.
Yes, and what drama would it be if these conditions started to clear up as well?
Oh, just one last twist in the tail.
But yes, looks like Albino Josh doing a really good job to hold on. As looks like Ollie does have a bit of a run on him, but he can't get close enough to put that nose down the inside just yet.
Yes, the Hasta plan, it's being labelled in the chat. But Aussie's looking quite pacey here. And, of course, there's no DRS in these conditions. So you've got to rely on battery and your own power.
Yes, and it looks like Aussie might have a go into this into the second gear braking zones. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. And
Max
I'm not
height.
sure.
Max height, that is. But here goes Aussie. He's going to look to the outside here of Albino Josh. Burns a little bit of battery, but not as much as he needed to get the move done before the braking zone. They're going to go side by side into turn 12. It looks like Albino Josh yields the position. And he's done very well there to navigate his way through without tripping over the Ferrari. And he'll be able to remount the challenge, I'm sure, because he's got plenty of pace in that Haas.
Yes, very good job by both drivers. Very, very clean, and especially that rather tight section of the track. As we can see, the rain lights from all the cars flashing at the moment. And it looks like it's just having a little peek, and he'll get
Albino
him
Josh
back.
there under braking sent it. Did he send that or what? Holy moly.
He did. I think Aussie might have been a little earlier on the brake, so very good job to try and outbrake him by Albino Josh there.
Great battle here for the podium. A 3-second penalty for cards.
Yes, it looks like we've got 3 drives on penalties at the moment.
Oh, that's a big moment for the Haas, and he's in the fence. Oh no, and he's collected Aussie as well. That's multiple cars in danger, and the safety car is out for the second time today. The Hasta plan turns into the disaster plan. That's rather unfortunate, and it sucks for Aussie as well. Just the innocent bystander collected, and both of them out of the Grand Prix.
Yes, very, very unfortunate there. And there's a safety car even having to negotiate the accident.
Wowzers. I think it's actually stopped on track. I think the safety car may be waiting for the leaders to come by.
Yes,
those cars are now cleared.
Yeah, starter into the pits now, so he's going to strap on a fresh set of intermediate tyres, I believe. And it'll be very interesting to see who else does.
He's on mediums.
Oh, wow.
So the track may be drying up now, I think. Data's stopped for medium tyres.
Well, that's very interesting, but, you know, I tell you what, Data has absolutely called these conditions absolutely perfectly this whole race, so...
It has stopped raining.
I tell you what, I very much expect, and yes, we have got guys going onto the dry tyres, lightning with a 3-second penalty there, and that'll be for curb hopping, I believe. But yes, 4 cars out of the race at the moment, very unfortunate. But we'll see who jumps onto what tyres, and I think everybody is actually going to come in and strap on dry tyres. So we will have one more twist in this tail, as it looks like the Bull Guy's staying out. Maybe he's just going to try and get one lap fresher tyres.
Yes, Trepid Fields, Hasta play coming together. That Hasta suck from Bagel Life and Albino Josh, mate, in the chat. I feel your pain, mate. That's rather unlucky what just happened to you. Just losing the rear. You're driving so well. But you'll get him next time, mate. Keep your head up. Don't get too disappointed. These things happen. You're not the only one to make a mistake today. And you showed good pace, so I'm sure in the coming weeks you'll be up there fighting for that podium again. But here we go then. Under safety car, it's Data maintaining his lead here as we transition back to dry running. And it's Data on the medium. Ekem's gone for the hard. So we even have split dry tyre strategies, which is quite fascinating.
Yes, well...
And still cars on the mediums as well.
I'm sure you meant to say intermediates there.
I don't know what I said.
You said mediums.
Still cars on the mediums. I meant still cars on the intermediates.
It's going to be very interesting to see what these guys can do to the end of the race. I think the guys that have gone for the hard tyre are probably out of medium tyres.
Yes, potentially. Yeah, it could be guys out of sets of tyres and maybe not able to get mediums to the end, or there could be varying things happening in the garages.
Spin under the safety car from Ekam.
Oh no, from P2 Ekam. He,
He'll be all right though.
Yeah, he will be. He won't lose out. The field's still very spread out.
Yes, it definitely does help that the fall guy did go into the pits there, but he can get very lucky to keep that Alpine out of the wall during that spin as well.
Yes, very true. Good point. So down to 15 runners. The championship leader out of the race, involved in an incident with Data. So Data leads. I would expect his position to come under review and be very provisional at the end of this Grand Prix, but you never know. Could be a racing incident. Ecam stands P2. Aussie's up to the podium. He's P3. Hegs P4. The fall guy, pardon me, P5. Cards P6 has done really well. He's stayed alive, as has Huey. JS44 up to P8, looking really good. Clunky Boy has had a very, very good weekend as Ecam's around again. Clunky Boy's had a very, very good weekend, but currently P9. Just struggling a little bit in this main race, so hopefully we see him come back on the restart. Still a Haas in the top 10. That's Merlin, then Old Mate, Talaxian, Max Strap-on Lightning, and Max Height making up the rest of the grid.
Yes, I think the conditions maybe just still a little wet, and these hard tyres are struggling a little bit with this rather slow pace behind the safety car. Well, slow by Formula 1 standards. They're still doing about 130, 140 kilometers. But yeah, most of the field are on the medium tyre, and Cards is on the oldest of the medium tyres at the moment. Max Strap-on being on the oldest of the hard tyres, with 7 laps and 5 laps on their tyres respectively.
So hopefully we can get this field bunched up a bit closer this lap and maybe go racing again. But I think it's might be JS44 leading that second train that are just coming into turn 17 now as we speak. And also Max Height, he's a long way off the pace. But hopefully we get racing again within a number of, or probably within a lap or two.
Yes, I would say we'll probably see the safety car in at the end of this lap. And Aussie with the wires done a very good job to get that Ferrari back up to P3, and is in a very, very good position to attack at the restart here, I think.
Indeed he is, yeah. Well, let's see what we see at the restart, because the first one was quite extraordinary what we saw. Perhaps a safety car glitch in the game, but yeah, first place got a massive jump, and second place was 5 seconds behind by the time they arrived in turn 1.
Yes, well, that leads us to the next question: is Data going to go early, or is he going to back everybody up?
Yes, let's see. Let's keep our eyes on the action. I reckon we're going to go green this lap.
Yes, looks like everybody in the field absolutely desperate to get on with it.
Safety car is in this lap.
Right, now, big question: is Data going to go early, or is he going to back everybody up?
Well, let's see. Currently weaving down the straight. Cam in P2. We've seen him with a couple of spins on the under safety car there. So let's hope he can keep it together on the main restart here. But here we go. Keep our eyes focused firmly on the leader here, Data, through the penultimate corner.
And looks like he is backing everybody up, almost to the line.
Here he goes, he's off, and Data takes control of the field, and he's away. A much cleaner restart this time. Ekam away in P2. He's being challenged by Aussie for P3 into turn 1. Ekam holds on to P2. Data maintains the lead. JS44 has gone around. He'll drop to the back of the field. And everyone else pretty well spaced out here. It's been relatively clean, but there was a moment there for JS44, so he might have had a little bit of contact in turns 1 and 2. But Data leads us away. They're already pulling out 1 second gap to Ekam. Half a second gap back then to Aussie for the top 3. And side by side there, Hegs and Clunky Boy getting very interesting there. And another yellow flag towards the back. That's Old Mate that might have had a moment. Here we go, just staying with the battle here. Oh, the Mercedes had maybe a little bit of a snap there. I don't think it's fully dry. And Clunky Boy will be looking to find a way by as quickly as he can. Goes up the inside, nailed his braking zone, gives the Mercedes a bit of a squeeze and made it stick. Brilliant move there from Clunky Boy. Up to P6. Merlin up to P8 now. Here's the next one to have a go at Hegs. Plenty of action.
Yes, I think the track maybe still just a little bit wet. I am still seeing a bit of dampness on the track down the back straight, but Data fully in control, and Aussie just sticking in that draft to VCAM. Yeah, as you can see, the track just a little bit wet off the line, so everybody's really going to have to pick their moves carefully. But so far, most of the field keeping it clean. His cards and Huey having a very good scrap.
Yeah, there's a few cars there. One, I thought one might have been going around there, but that was scarily close to the wall, and I thought a Red Bull might have had a moment there, but it looks like they've all kept it together. It's done a nice job there to navigate that, and everyone keeping their parts on the cars. And Clunky Boy has found his way up to P4.
Yes, and a very good job by Clunky Boy there, and well, I suppose that's the reason we call it carb on fibre, not carb off fibre.
Good one.
I thought so.
But here we go then, Clunky Boy coming under threat then. From Huey, you dig, this has been the place to make a move tonight, and is Huey going to be the latest to make a move in turn 11 and 12? Not yet. Clunky Boy defends that really well, hangs on, pretty hard to pass through this chicane. But we've got Red Bull Mercedes, a great team battle happening at the moment in the middle of the field, all over P4 to P7.
Yes, and we will have DRS next lap again as we are back to dry running.
And Ecam challenging for the lead as well. Let's not forget that. He's all over the rear wing here of Data, and he'll want to get the win. Data goes fastest lap, and then that's eclipsed from Ecam and Phil Guy with a 3-second time penalty.
Yes, and it looks like Huey You Dig is in the pit, so maybe a bit of wing damage there for him.
Merlin up to P6 as well now, so he's absolutely flying. Was there a Red Bull? Cards has had a moment. Yes, Cards has had a moment. And he's now back battling with max height, P11 and 12, and lost his front wing. So Cards in that battle, we took our eyes off it for a moment. And in that process, Cards is now without a front wing. He'll be having a trip back to the pits, and he'll be ambling back in P14 and 15 when he resumes racing. But that promotes Merlin in his Haas up to P6. This is great. We saw a Haas relinquish a podium position, but is that dream still alive? Is the Haas plan still in effect?
Oh, it definitely could be, because Merlin, I tell you what, he's going to get that DRS. He'll be in a bit of a train, but he'll have that DRS.
Oh, wow. That might be a connection issue there for Hegs, who hit the wall, still has his front wing. Holy moly.
Yes, and just to add a bit of insult to injury there, he's also got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting.
Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car is out. Cards and Old Mate have come together. Huey looks like he's stopping in turn 12. There might have been a moment for him as well. Full course safety car. Full course safety car is out with 10 to go. Data is your leader.
Yes, and on that subject, Data is into the pit, so might be going to strap on a set of soft tyres for his last 10 laps.
Well, this may give Aussie... No, Aussie's in the pits as well. Who's going to take the gamble and stay out? It's going to be Hegs. So Hegs is going to have the lead. Merlin staying out as well. So the Haas is going to restart this Grand Prix from the podium positions. Hegs has a penalty as well. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Merlin in the Haas net race lead.
Yes, this is going to be a very interesting fight at the finish, and I can confirm that Data has gotten soft tyres on, so he's definitely looking to grab the fastest lap and possibly the race win. We'll have about 7 racing laps to go when the safety car comes in, so this is going to be an absolute sprint to the finish. But Merlin in a very, very good position to deliver Haas what I believe will be their first win for the season.
I'm sure it will be. Yes, absolutely.
Now the work from Higgs here is he's gonna have to gap that penalty on the restart. So he's gonna have to really plan his restart quite well. And who knows? Maybe he can pull out. Maybe he can do the pulling out 5 seconds before turn 1.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, looks like
3
everybody.
second pen. There we go. Is there a touch there between the Haas and the Mercedes? It looks like that Mercedes is having some connection trouble.
Yes, I think there was a close call just coming out to the stadium. I don't think there was an actual touch. The wing on that Haas looks very, very intact right now.
So I reckon it's going to be one more lap. We'll go racing at the end of lap 21.
Yes,
and we'll jump on board with Merlin on that restart and see if he can get past Heggs. As who's that coming into the pits?
That's Data. Data coming into the pits
again.
Yes, maybe a strap for 1 lap fresher tyres, but
no, he's going onto the hard. Oh no, it isn't. No, sorry. He might have had a moment because he's changed his front wing and he's going onto the soft tyre once again. That's a strange one.
Well, he's down in P13, or what is now last place, so he is going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that really does change the complexion of this race quite a lot.
It does, but Data, he's got pace and he's got brilliant racecraft, so I definitely think I definitely think that there is a possibility to see him right back up in the top spots. But as I say, he will have a lot of work to do.
Indeed. Well, here we go. We should go racing at the end of this lap. And hopefully we can get a great battle towards the end. No touch. Heggs just laggy. Roger that. Albino Josh. Well, this would be a brilliant story. Somewhat of a fairy tale for Haas to win this race if they can do it. You dare to dream now. But there's going to be a lot of cars angry behind him on fresh soft tyres wanting to take that dream away. That's for sure.
Yes, well, he's in a very good position here because he's essentially got JS44, who will be inadvertently blocking for him to try and stop the soft runners from getting by himself. He's on JS44 on 9 lap hole mediums, and Merlin's on 7 lap hole mediums along with Higgs. So this is going to be a very interesting fight to the finish. And Sachikara is in this lap, so we're about to go racing, and when will he release the field?
Well, let's see. Let's jump on board with Merlin and keep a keen eye on this safety car restart. I think with the lag that we're seeing from the lead car here as well, it's going to be in his best interest to try and snap that P1 as quick as he can. And JS44 behind him with a 6-second pen, so it's going to be all to play for here, and it looks like Heggs has gone straight out of that third to last corner, and he's put a little bit of a gap to Merlin here, so let's see what he's made of Merlin here. He's going to have Ekem as well, not too far behind, looking to plough his way through the field, and he's already passed JS44 into the first turn to P3, so a nice move there from Ekem, and further back, Clunky Boy doing battle with Max Strap-on. Also made a lovely pass into turn 1. Lightning, who's been in the wars, he's been up and down today, sees himself in the top 10 with a 3-second penalty, but those behind him with pens as well. But here we go, all eyes on the front, as Haas could be fighting for a race win here, but Ekem, he looks very, very quick on soft tyres, but just keep in mind those soft tyres will start to fade towards the end, so it's definitely worth fighting for this position for Merlin. Absolutely does not want to give it up. Here he goes, defending to the inside as we approach turn 11. Has Ekem got enough in him to make the move stick? I think so. It's going to be tight, but he gets around the outside. Superior grip at this point in the Grand Prix. And Ekem promotes himself to P2, and Merlin just loses touch a bit. Maybe struggling with tyre temps on the restart. Just doesn't quite seem to have the same grip and pace on this 22nd lap of 29 on the Miami Grand Prix.
And as we go back to the back to racing, here you dig with another penalty.
So Huey back down there in P9, picking up a 3-second penalty for his trouble. The full guy just passing Data there. And it's Ecamm about to take the lead of the Grand Prix here as we begin lap 23. He's going to go to the inside. Doesn't look like Hegs is going to put up too much of a fight here. And the advantage swings the favour of the Alpine. That's Ecamm up to P1 in the lead. Clunky Boy's P4. He's progressed nicely on this restart. And Lightning P6, Talaxian P7. Max Height trying to grab some points for the Aston Martin. Just forcing the full guy a little bit wide there.
Yes, and Ecamm's going to have to start looking after those tyres because in about 2 laps time they're going to start to fall off as JS44 is back in the pits.
Well, I think Merlin really needs to get past Hegs. But he's 1.3 behind still, and Clunky Boy's probably gaining a little bit quicker than he would be hoping.
Yes, Merlin's still in provisionally P2 with that penalty that Higgs has. Higgs needs to sort of get on with this and get that gap up to over 3 seconds. They're doing a very good job of it so far. As looks like Ecamm on those soft tyres starting to pull away just a bit, 2.5 seconds the gap.
Yeah, Clunky Boy's looking very feisty here. There's a small gap back to Lightning. And a good battle between Aussie, Talaxian, and he goes to Talaxian making a move. Defended aggressively from Aussie. Talaxian says, no problems, I'll go to the outside. But couldn't make the move stick. Great defensive driving from Aussie there as Ecamm sets the new fastest lap of the race at 1:30.1.
Yes, well, Ecamm is on fairly fresh soft tyres, so. But his tyre's starting to wear just a bit, and that wear rate starting to catch up to Higgs. So we could see a swing in momentum very shortly.
And Merlin's just losing the touch here a little bit with the overall pace as Clunky Boy dives down the inside there, the lazy left-hander, and makes the move stick clean as a whistle. Great move there, and a bit of a moment then on the exit from Merlin, but he gathers it up, and we'll jump on board with him. There's some yellow flags towards the back. That is Huey that's had a moment. And let's see if Merlin can recapture a place on the podium here. It'd be P3. Can he keep his nose in there? Oh, no, he can't. And I tell you what, talk about opportunity. Lightning, the capitalisation there has been fantastic, and he sends the car through, and Merlin gets absolutely mugged off. It looks like he might be struggling a little bit too much on those mediums to get that podium for the Haas car, but hopefully he can hang on for a respectable result nonetheless. But that's Clunky Boy P3, Lightning P4, a fantastic battle, and long may this continue. We'll get old mate in a moment for an interview, but for now I'll just have to mute his microphone. A bit of noise in the background there, but all good. We'll grab him shortly for an interview since he's in the commentary booth with us. He's found his way from the track to the commentary booth, past security, and it's a pleasure to have him here. But here is Lightning and Clunky Boy. Looks like Lightning might have just had a little moment there. He's just a second off the pace of Clunky Boy at the moment. Some more yellow flags as Huey's rather slow into the pits. And a 5-second, well, I say rather slow into the pits. He's still got a 5-second penalty for speeding, and he has retired from the session. So disappointing for that. Disappointing for the Mercedes boys there.
Yes, that's not really what you want to see, but I think he's just boxed to retire there just to avoid bringing out a safety car at this late stage of the race.
And Clunky Boy, he's got the DRS, and he's putting a challenge on Heggs here. And I'll tell you what, Lightning could be in contention for a podium, so I think Heggs is starting to struggle, but Lightning as close as you dare get to the car ahead through turns 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. That was quite supreme, actually, that he got his car that close and kept it clean. Clunky Boy had a moment, and that's going to leave things susceptible to a challenge here.
Yes, and meanwhile, just back in 5th, 6th and 7th, Merlin under siege from Data and Talaxian.
Yes, Data coming back into the race extremely well.
And Data pulling a move, and I think he'll have him here. And he will, and it's a very nice move. So Data storming through the field on those fresh soft tyres.
Yes, back into the top 5. I tell you what, Data could be in the mix here for a P2 still. So Yeah, it's going to be an exciting finish here as we approach 4 laps to go, and it's Ecam leading the way, a 6-second gap. Then Hegs and Lightning. Penalties are going to play a part in this as well.
Oh, absolutely, but Higgs is well clear. Sorry, Ecam is well clear of Higgs right now, so Ecam absolutely in control of this race. The full guy retires as well, so 11 cars left in the race.
They're starting to drop like flies.
Well, hey, we spoke about dolphin diving. Looks like some of them dolphin dive back into the pits.
Yes, indeed, and here's a move. It's Lightning on Hegs. This is for P2. What a day for Lightning. It's been a roller coaster for him, but look at him going. A little bit of contact at the back there. That's Clunky Boy and Hegs. They both survive, and the scrap continues through the chicane. Clunky Boy, P4, trying to recapture a spot on the podium. Data as well. He's P5, and he's quick. He's going to get a move done here, I think, on Clunky Boy, and he does just that. So a lot of cars yo-yoing up and down the leaderboard at the moment.
Yes, and Data, we could actually see, even at this stage, provisionally in P2 or P3 because of these penalties. The Lightning and Higgs penalties have basically neutralised each other as far as their battle goes.
Clunky Boy made a lovely move there, down the inside into turn 17, and retook P4 from Data. So some great dueling, some great battling happening, and let's see if we can get Lightning to pull away here. He's got 3 seconds penalties. Heggs' 3-second penalty as well. It's going to make a big difference to those guys unless they can stretch the legs and set some quality laps and extend a gap. You could see some of the cars we're not expecting or not currently on the podium, promoted to the podium, come the end of the Grand Prix.
Yes, absolutely. And these soft tyre runners absolutely flying. It's Huey, you dig. Oh, never mind. That came up for a second time that Huey, you dig, had retired.
Nah, that one was he left the session. All good. He came out in another planet at the moment. 7-second lead. And Lightning, a big lock up there, I think, we heard.
Yeah, so Ecam has been absolutely phenomenal from this restart. Really took advantage.
Yeah, it's a shame for Data because obviously he had a moment, I think, on one of the safety car laps where he lost his wing and had to do an extra pit stop. You'd think he would have really been up there challenging Ecam for this win had it not been for that moment. But, that's racing. These things happen. He's going to get the DRS open here, and he's going to have a chance to maybe get a 2-for-1 into turn 16, 17. Let's have a look. He's alongside Clunky Boy. Is he going to go down the inside of both cars? He is. We're 3 wide for a moment. Data to the inside. The Mercedes pulls out. The Red Bull doesn't get much room. Talaxian's trying to get in on the act as well. Fantastic. But Data spears to the podium. That's P3, and he's clear.
Yes, and he'll probably get promoted to P2 with this penalty because he's definitely within the range right now of Lightning.
For sure.
So Lightning, I think, will be looking to stretch those legs because we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2 now.
Yeah, that's JS44, I believe. Yep. It looks like Ecam's going to stroll away with this one. Not quite the grandstand finish we'd hoped for, but Ecam's driven a phenomenal race today. He nailed the strategy. He's come through all the adversity in this race, and he should bring this home as long as he doesn't make any silly mistakes or incur any penalties of his own. But yes, I think there'll be a lot happening after this race as well in the stewards' room, which may affect the order. But let's see how they finish. Take nothing away from the drivers today because they've all been brilliant. It's been a fantastic Grand Prix. For me, this has been the best race of the year. I think I'd put it up there with Belgium, but this has been an exciting race. And the amount of battling we've seen today, we've been spoiled.
Oh, absolutely we have. And I really think things starting to just cool down a little bit as Data's rear tyres on about 46% and Clunky behind him has just a little bit of grip advantage on 42%. So Clunky's just looked after those tyres just a little bit better. Right, on to the final lap of the race now. So we are about to get our grand finale. Last chance for moves. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3.
Oh, that shot makes me wince every time I see it, how close the cars get to the safer barrier.
Yes, absolutely. And Data getting very, very close there. A little too close for comfort to those barriers for me personally.
What a day for Ecam. He's done a brilliant drive, executed to perfection, and Looks like he's going to pick up his first win of the season.
Yes, and take nothing away from Haas either. Merlin in P6.
You're going to be big points still for the team, yeah. Fantastic result.
Yes, absolutely. Starting on those soft tyres from P10, and he's really put together quite a phenomenal race. But I think if he can keep his groove on, he'll get promoted because of that Higgs penalty up to P5.
Yes, that's true. Yep, that's absolutely correct. But here we go. Today's going to go the way of Alpine. And Ecamm is their driver, delivering around the streets of Miami today. Starting from the front row and converting that to a race win. It's Ecamm that is going to win round 4 of the Race Spec PC Pacific Series, the Miami main race. Ecamm is your winner. Lightning doing everything he can to cross the line, and he does cross the line in second. Data crosses third, but Lightning finds himself demoted to P4. That puts Clunky Boy on the podium. What a race for him. What a couple of races for him. A great weekend from him. Merlin promoted to P5. Hegs P6. Max Height P7. Talaxian holds on to P8. Aussie in the Ferrari P9. And that's all we got. JS44 retiring on the last lap of the Grand Prix. What a race. What a weekend. And what a round of racing we've seen in the PC Pacific Series. Fantastic stuff, Guardian.
Yes, absolutely. Just a phenomenal race. Everything you want out of a Formula One race. Action, drama, a little bit of controversy because who doesn't love that in a Formula One race? But yes, very good job by all the boys that have competed here today. Couple of safety cars and some very interesting weather conditions.
Indeed, yeah, it was a great spectacle. Really, really good to watch. I've enjoyed that one. I hope you have as well. But yeah, it was really, really good stuff. I think we saw a fantastic race today. A great spectacle overall. And thank you everyone in the chat for joining us for that. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Let us know. Big points for Haas. I know they had some fans there. So yeah, it's obviously very good to watch. And yeah, just a really, really thrilling Grand Prix. So it was our pleasure to commentate and broadcast that for you. And we'll try and get a couple of the drivers in, I believe, as well. For some post-race interviews. Oh, we've lost, I think we had Old Mate in here, but we've lost him.
Yes, I think he disconnected earlier in the race. But yeah, generally, I would say this has probably been the best race that we've had all season.
Yeah, I'd say so, mate. I think it was very, very enjoyable. We'll see what the stewards say after it. There might be a little bit of a change to the order. I'm not sure, but for us as commentators, what we saw tonight was brilliant. Hope you guys in the chat loved it. And yeah, I guess that might be it for tonight. We'll just wait for a moment to see if any of the drivers do jump in. Might get Albino Josh. There he is. Albino, Josh, and Merlin. We got both the Haas boys. The chat's going to love that. Let me just turn you guys up. Let me just turn your voices up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lads, talk us through your race.
I told him how to.
So, I had a pretty shocking sprint race, and I was able to make up... I actually had a really great race up until that wet spot where I spun out and hit that wall. Surprised he didn't ghost me. I think I accidentally took Aussie out with that too, but I had a brilliant race up until then. I'm pretty devastated, not gonna lie.
Yeah, mate, you did. There was plenty of support for you guys in the chat. We were cheering you on from the commentary box, and
yeah, I saw that. The boys were all in the chat.
The boys are well and truly behind you.
Yeah, it was good. I liked seeing that.
You must be happy running up there towards the front though for a large part of that race.
Oh, that was it was really good. It was really intense. I'm really sweaty after that, but yeah.
You gonna deliver us a podium next time then?
I'm doing my best.
That's what we like, yeah. Mate, talk us through the conditions out there. It was wet in quali, it went wet dry, wet, or whatever it was in the race. It must have been chaos for you in the car. But talk us through how you handled it and what your thoughts were on the race overall.
I got lucky with Jeff telling me, it's not Jeff anymore, but whoever the engineer is just talking me through strat, and I just followed what he told me, and I got lucky. Was able to get up into some podium spots, and yeah, unfortunately I dropped my rear, and it is what it is.
Yeah, nice, mate. Fair enough. Clunky boy as well, just for you, mate. Podium. You must love that. Your first one of the season.
That's probably the most up and down race I've ever had. At one point, I was dead last, like screaming my head off. I was like, I had such shit luck with collisions, so.
There are a lot of cars yo-yoing up and down the order today. That's something Gutty and I noted throughout the race. It was, we couldn't pick it. We didn't know what the order was going to be at the end, but yeah, you did well, mate. You should be proud of that.
Yeah, I'm happy finally to get a podium in race spec this season.
You beauty.
It took me long enough.
Nah, awesome, mate. You got to savour them when you get them. They can be hard to get, and earned it today. So well done. I'll leave Guardian to interview the rest of you.
All right, well, I'll start with Merlin, and Merlin, mate, fantastic job to get the Haas up that high. Just talk us through all the chaos of that race.
Oh, so much chaos. I started on a strategy that was soft, medium, soft, and I pitted like the lap before it started getting wet, which really annoyed me because I pitted onto hards, and then I had to pit again. But I'm really chuffed with coming out P5 on top of that. That's ridiculous. Super happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You kept it clean through the whole race. No pens, and you reap the benefits of staying within that penalty zone of Higgs in front of you. So yeah, really good job there, mate. Well done. And Data, that last safety car being right at the back for the restart. Just an incredible charge, mate. Like,
yeah, it was because I had to box twice under that safety car because my pit crew didn't change my front wing. So if they did change it, I'd probably be up. Well, in hindsight, I would have been up there with Beckham, but these things happened, and in the end, P2 can't complain that much.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, it was a phenomenal charge, like the last 7 or 8 laps, and going up 12, 13 spots. So
yeah,
you got to be happy with that.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just annoying because I was in control of that race for such a long time, but sometimes that's how this game works, so can't do anything about that.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. But still, a very, very good result.
Yeah, P2 with fastest lap, I'm still happy, but there was more on the table. But yeah,
I've got to ask you.
Sometimes.
I've got to ask you one question.
Yeah.
What happened with Average Only and yourself in that little scrap that put him in the wall?
I didn't make contact. I believe he just spun on his own.
Right. The view we had, we thought you absolutely plowed him into the barriers.
No, I think, yeah, I didn't make any contact with him.
Oh, good. Well, I'm relieved then. I'm relieved because we thought you would have been getting a slam dunk penalty, but there you go. It looks like you'll keep your P2 then. But yeah, mate, well done. I was just curious on that.
Yeah, because that was a very interesting stage of the race. You pitted under the safety car for the intermediate tires, and I mean,
you're flying. Holy moly, you were quick.
Yeah.
I had 2 charges through the field when you count it.
I thought you got out of that corner a little bit too well and then just hit the back of him and send him into the nether world. Shadow world, but no, all good then. Well done, mate. No, good stuff. P2, you love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll wrap it up then. On behalf of Guardian and myself, thank you for joining us tonight on Race Spec for round 4. It was a thriller. Merlin bringing the magic to Haas. Mate, good to have you guys in the chat as well. Thanks for keeping us company. And Guardian, I will see you next week. Where are we off to next week? Spain. I believe we're off to Spain next week. So the streets of Barcelona. Can't wait for that. we'll see you then. Everyone have a great week, a great evening. I'm off to try and calibrate my new sim gear. And yeah, wish me luck with that. But take care, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.